Hello, 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 and welcome to Divine Earth School. Welcome to Divine Earth School, the place where high achievers and spiritual seekers come to embody, embrace, and express their divinity, where I talk all things about health, wellness, life, business, and spirituality. So let's dive in. Hello, 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 Mosaic Souls. Hey, Mosaic Souls, this is Rachael Alexander, artist and Mosaic Soul mentor, aka spiritual health, life, and business coach with Flair. And I'm super excited to talk about this topic in today's Wellness Wednesdays. And today I wanted to talk about the number one ingredient to avoid when you are trying to eliminate burnout, when you're trying to eliminate adrenal fatigue. And I'm probably going to give a bonus ingredient because these two together kind of tag team each other and really burn out your adrenals in the long term. So first of all, let's talk about what is the adrenal glands and why you even want to, what adrenal fatigue kind of is, and then why you want to, what the ingredients are, and then why you want to avoid them. So the adrenal glands are these two little almond shaped glands that sit like right on top of your kidneys, and they help produce a whole bunch of different hormones that we need, especially as women and men, for producing different hormones that we need to sort of regulate our body's blood sugar, regulate our body's different functions and stuff in our bodies, right? And so adrenal fatigue is basically when it's not necessarily, it hasn't been necessarily categorized and as an actual thing in the Western society, but it's definitely been categorized as something in like Eastern medicine and just different alternative medicine practices. And so when you think about adrenal fatigue, think about the common symptoms of is just basically when you're in this state of overworking, exhaustion, burnout, always feeling like you're on the go, but just feeling constantly depleted no matter how much sleep you get or whatever you try to do, you're just feeling constantly burnt out or tired, or you're always constantly manifesting sicknesses and diseases and all that good stuff, right? So here are some of the most common symptoms of adrenal fatigue is when you constantly feeling of fatigue and burnout, lack of essential hormones, which really make it hard for you to operate normally in your everyday life. Overload of stress and having sort of a negative mind sometimes can kind of come along with this, that your mind will not be able to endure, pushing you to that breaking point. Insomnia, not being able to sleep. So it's like the double whammy. Not only are you tired, but you can't even sleep, and having difficulty sleeping at nights or getting up early for work, having digestion problems, having sort of a weak metabolism, and you'll notice sort of a change in your weight, a fluctuation in your weight because of this. And then also being just vulnerable to other diseases and sicknesses because your immune system is usually weakened, because the body is burned out and it doesn't have what it needs in order to fuel your life and fuel your health. And other things that kind of can be related to adrenal fatigue is sort of rough skin, a reduced sex drive, low energy levels, respiratory diseases, panic attacks, different discomfort in everything, low blood pressure, weight loss or weight gain, inflammation all over the body, and muscle and joint pain, right? So if you see me I'm looking at my notes, making sure I'm saying everything that I wanted to say. So that's basically some of the symptoms of adrenal fatigue. And the things, the number one ingredient that I really wanted to talk about, which I know that a lot of past clients that I had really struggled with this, and women that I've spoken with, is caffeine, right? And then I want to tag team that with highly processed sugars, right? And the reason why you want to avoid these two ingredients when you're trying to heal your adrenal glands and when you're trying to just heal your body in general is that, one, caffeine really is a stimulant to the adrenal glands, and it causes the adrenal glands to overly produce cortisol. And so cortisol is the hormone that sort of comes up when you're in that fight, flight, or flee state, right? And so when you're highly stressed, we trigger that fight, flight, or flee hormone, and cortisol is a hormone that's produced in our bodies. And it's actually useful if a tiger or a bear is chasing you. You want cortisol to kick in because you want that adrenaline to kick in and start running and moving and finding safety and shelter. But when you're just having a tough time at your job, or your boss is on your case, or you just had an argument with your spouse or whatever, then you don't really want this overly production of cortisol because it creates inflammation in the body long term. So it really stimulates the adrenal glands, it produces cortisol, and it really kind of deteriorates your adrenal glands over time. And so your adrenal gland stops being able to produce certain hormones that you need to be able to produce in order for you to have a nice balanced homeostasis in your body, right? So number one is caffeine and coffee, right? And avoiding that is really going to, replacing it, what I always encourage my clients to do is replacing it with green smoothies or smoothies in the morning, replacing your caffeinated beverages, caffeine. There's also other types of teas, burdock root, which is really cleansing for the liver. I think yerba mate is still caffeinated. There's some other teas that are still included. If you are looking to, get a jump start on your health, then visit the link in the description box below where I share and join my 5-day Revitalize in 5 challenge, where I teach you really all the basics of how to eat clean, how to eat healthy, and what foods to avoid, what ingredients and what products and processed stuff you should be avoiding, and what to include in your diet so that you start to feel your best. So definitely check that out in the link in the description box below. But yeah, so that's really why you want to avoid caffeine. And sugar is really, and processed sugar, not sugar that's naturally found in fruits and vegetables. Fruits are really healthy and healing to your adrenal glands. You do not avoid fruit if you're trying to eliminate burnout and overwhelm and adrenal fatigue. You want to eat fruit, okay? Fruit is not, do not fear fruit. Fruit is our natural, innate food that nourishes our bodies, right? But sugar that is man-made, made in a factory, made in a plant, right, is really poisonous element for our body and for those who suffer from adrenal fatigue. So you really want to avoid foods with excess processed sugars, even though the craving for sugar in this condition makes it difficult to resist. So the thing is with sugar, when you have highly processed sugars and stuff, the body doesn't recognize what to do with it, and it causes inflammation. The body has to do all this excess stuff to get rid of the sugars, right? Like you're over flooding your body with unnatural sugars that the body doesn't even recognize. Now, fruit sugars, the body recognizes it, but it also comes with all these other antioxidants and other vitamins and minerals that the body uses. So that's why fruits and vegetables are really healthy. But when you eat a donut, or when you eat a cookie, or you eat that healthy protein bar that's loaded with like 38 grams of sugar, your body doesn't know what to do with that, and it overtaxes your adrenals, it overtaxes your body, because then your body has to work extra hard to get this, what it considers a toxin, out of your body, right? So those are really the two main ingredients that you really want to eliminate when you're trying to heal your adrenal fatigue and eliminate burnout and all that good stuff, because it's going to help you when you get back to nature, which is why, my coaching is called Sip of Nature and Divine Earth School. When you get back to the earth, right, you really start to, hello, Teosha. Let me finish this statement and I'll come back to you. When you get back to nature and you get back to the earth, your body starts to feel and be at a better level homeostasis. We live in this society where we get up at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. to go to work for 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. and then we're not really in sync with the planet. So the more that you can incorporate things of the earth, of nature, back into your life, the more healthier and revitalized and alive you're going to feel. The further away we get from nature, the more we're always on our cell phones, or, going to sleep super late, or not getting enough rest, or not being in tune, or getting enough fresh air and stuff like that, the more we're going to feel disconnected from ourselves, the more depleted we're going to feel, and all that stuff. So getting back to nature is going to be your surefire bet to really help you eliminate burnout and adrenal fatigue. So I'm going to, if you have any questions and you're joining me live, feel free to say hi and your name and any questions that you have for me while I'm live here on Wellness Wednesdays. I'm going to try to make an effort to come on live here every Sunday, Wednesday, and I'm still deciding on my third day, but Sundays and Wednesdays, I'm going to try to start coming on here live and answering your questions. Ms. Yosha, I'm dependent on coffee. Today is my first day trying to stop drinking 2 cups of coffee a day. That's what's up. Go ahead, Ms. Yosha. I know that my clients and even past friends, and I remember my old boss was such a coffee addict. It was not uncommon to see her drinking like 4 cups of coffee. I know people who drink coffee who abide by like coffee is, especially with the whole bulletproof coffee and that whole craze. When you have adrenal fatigue, that is not healthy for you. I'm just telling you long term. Maybe you want to, give your body a resting period, 3, 6 a year to like heal the adrenals, right? And then you can start reintroducing a little bit of caffeine there. But when you're trying to eliminate burnout and stuff, it puts your body into excess overdrive of producing cortisol, which then produces excess inflammation and all the stuff that I just talked about. So you really want to eliminate caffeine and highly processed sugars, right? And I'm not talking about fruit sugars. Eat fruit. Fruit is safe. But I'm talking about like, the Splendas and the excess things and the packets of sugar that you put in your coffee and the milk and the dairy. And dairy is also another thing, but I'm not going to get into that. But sugar and caffeine. Try to eliminate those first, okay?